Hey folks, and welcome. In the following video, I'm going to give you an overview of the typography section in the crowd theme. Now, this is a pretty simple setup for your fonts, and it's going to allow you to sort of customize your website's look with the fonts that you can use. If you have anything specifically related to your brand, you could go ahead and update your fonts here, and of course that will change the entire look of your site. So it's pretty simple. If you go to Flothemes Typography, this introduction area, you will have the video that you're watching right now and another video explaining how to add fonts. In the generic typography section, we have a few different options. One of the most important is this tablet font size zoom, and we recommend increasing it to around 20 to 50%. It will increase the font size on tablets. If you check them out, they might be a little small. If that is the case, go ahead and go to the generic typography area and increase this zoom factor. Then you're going to have the different font settings for the entire site. So these are at a global level. Your input fonts, and that will be for your contact forms. The labels for those inputs, also for the contact forms, paragraph with links, your H1 through H6 fonts, so the different header styles, and then a quote font as well. And you can choose any of the styles that come in the font style area and set them to update that particular font style. And if you do that, it will update the fonts at a global level and change the entire look of your site. So you could go ahead and change the contact form inputs, the irregular paragraph fonts, and then the header fonts, and that would of course update the entire look of your site. Now if you want to edit any of these font styles, you can edit them by either clicking here directly, the pencil, and it will go to this font style section and find that specific font style. So label 3, for example, in this case, we would then be able to go ahead and update that style. So I'm going to go into the font style section as well, just to show you that in the font style area there are font styles, Google Fonts, and custom fonts. So if you wanted to add or update a font style, you can do that as well. So for example, if I wanted to add a new font style, you can go ahead and click add, label the font style, choose any of the existing fonts. So you can choose any of the fonts that are available, choose the sizing. And again, over on the right hand side, you'll see the preview. You can choose the letter spacing, the word spacing, and the line height as well. You have then some options over here on the right hand side if you want it to be all caps, regular case, and no case options. You can have that as well. Bold, italic, and underlined, and choose the font color. You also have options for hover if you wanted this font, if this font was going to have some sort of hover style. Just enable this and then set up the options for that as well. And you also have the option for the active style. That is mostly useful for menu items. So if someone clicks on it, if that's an active page or a link, it will have its own styling. Generally, these two options aren't used. You'll probably just focus on the default options and choose the settings here on the right hand side. And of course, once you're ready, you just go ahead and hit the X and hit update. You can update any of the existing font styles as well, change the names if you want to make them more descriptive to suit your needs. You can very easily do that as well. And again, it's the same principle. Just hit the pencil icon, choose all the different size options, and then hit X and update. Now, if you want to choose Google Fonts, maybe you need some Latin extended characters, you need something, or you want to change it to be slightly different, go ahead and click Add Font. Click the pencil icon, and then you can search for any of the Google fonts that you like. So maybe you wanted to choose something like Lato. You could go ahead and do that, and then that will then allow you to select it inside the fonts area over here. So you can see now we have a Google font with Lato, and that can be used anywhere throughout the font styles area in the site. Same with custom fonts. You can add any types of fonts here, TTF or WAF files. Just click Add Font, drag and drop those file formats onto here, and then of course, once you hit save, you'll then have that new font style again in this area over here. So you'll have any new fonts that you add, just the same principle as choosing a Google font. That's great if you have custom fonts for your brand and you want to update it, again, to make the site more cohesive for your branding, and it gives it a much more custom feel. Finally, we have a quick font setting area, and this would be to update the 3 main fonts or 4 main fonts on the site. And you can see the existing fonts that are used here. This would be for titles, main body text, and that would be for quotes, or this last one would be for quotes, and this one would also be body text. To be honest, this section isn't used that often, and it wouldn't be what I would recommend. I would recommend just updating the font styles from this area. And then, of course, if you want to update fonts for a particular block, you can do so as well. And to update blocks, you just go to any page, then to the layout section. So let's just go into one of these pages, scroll down to layouts. And from here, you can also choose any of the font styles that you've set up on a per block basis. So let's just go into the layout area. So layout, let's go to this block. And you'll notice that there are label options and font options throughout the different blocks. Of course, you can choose any of the font styles that you've either created or set up, and then of course change this block on a per block basis. So this is not a global setting, it's just on a per block basis if you want to update a styling for a particular block. Of course, if you want to update that actual font, you can hit the pencil icon here. That will load the typography area, and then you would update that font. That will, of course, update the fonts at a global level because you're directly editing the font style. So only do this if you want to edit the font style. And then anywhere this particular font is used, so for example, heading 2, it would update site-wide. So that's the overview of how to use the fonts. It's pretty simple to use, and you can really style your site to make it your own. So go ahead, if you have to update your fonts, this is how you do it, and style your site today.